Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you the new video. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Athletics. First pitch is going to be here roughly in 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get settled in for some Tuesday night baseball. Let's get it, baby. And on the thumb on the left is Julio Rodriguez. And on the right for the Athletics, Seth Brown. Now let's get into the starting lineups here for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing second base, Jorge Polanco. Batting third, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing today, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, catching today for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Batting sixth, playing right field, welcome back to the lineup, Dylan Moore. Batting seventh, playing first base, Donovan Solano. Batting eighth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And batting ninth, playing left field, Miles Mastroboni. And on the mound with a 1-1 record, an ERA of 6.62, Emerson Hancock. Let's go, baby. We're going to need a better outing than we saw from Bryce Miller yesterday. If we're going to have any chance to win this series, we do have Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. We feel confident about that. But again, the bats need to be alive, and we need good pitching. Hopefully he holds them to 3 runs or less, and that'll give us a higher percentage chance to win here tonight. All right, now let's get into the starting lineups for the home Athletic. Leading off for the Athletics in right field, Lawrence Butler. Batting second, DHing for the Athletics, Brent Rooker. Batting third, playing left field, Tyler Soderstrom. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, third baseman, Miguel Andujar. Batting fifth, catching today for the Athletics, Shea Langeliers. Batting sixth, playing center field, J.J. Bleday. Batting seventh, shortstop, Jacob Wilson. Batting eighth, playing first base, Nick Kurtz. And batting ninth, the former Seattle Mariner, second baseman, Luis Urias. And on the mound for the Athletics with a 4-3 record, an ERA of 4.98, Jeffrey Springs. All right, baby, let's go. And obviously we need to be able to get to a fast start. Obviously getting 1 to 3 runs within the first 6 innings would be ideal. and then getting a few more once the starters go out, and we'll see whose bullpen will be best later in the matchup. Again, we had quite a few runs scored last night, but again, we didn't expect Bryce Miller to pitch the way that he did, and we ended up losing 7-6 in 11 innings. The game almost went 4 hours long, and hopefully it won't be that long here tonight, and we can get some good production from our first three guys, with J.P. Crawford leading off, Jorge Polanco actually playing offense, as well as, being in the box. He's been our DH for quite some time, so we'll see how this experiment goes. And then batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, baby. And we'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single screen. Britt in the building, what's good? Cole in the building, what's good? Lauren in the building, what's good? Not JT in the building, what's good? Let's go, baby. And again, Knicks are one of the better teams this year, as well as the Mariners, so this is not going to be easy. First pitch to J.P. Crawford. Back, and lined out to left, one away. I was hoping JP would work the count a little bit more, but it is what it is. Batting second, playing second base today for the first time in months, Jorge Polanco. First pitch to Polo, right down the middle with a strike looking, 0-1 count from Springs to Polo. Oh-1 pitch is high and away with a cutter, 86 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strikes from Springs to Polo. Come on, Polo. 1-1 pitch in play and lined out to left, 2 away. Down goes JP with a fly out. Same thing goes for Polo, 2 away. Next up, Julio Rodriguez. All right, J-Rod, we need you, baby. Trident's up. Let's go. Nice catch by Soderstrom on Polo on the previous out. And Julio, first pitch, back. See ya! That's what I'm talking about, baby. And again, Julio has had some issues in the past. Let's go, baby. Getting the Trident out early and often. First pitch. He goes yard. Nice job, Julio. It's about damn time. 1-0 Mariners. Hell yeah. Next up, in the 4-hole, DHing today, giving Cal Raleigh a day off, Randy Arozarena. First pitch to Randy, right down the pipe. Takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. From Springs to Randy Arozarena. 1-1 pitch. Pitch is way outside, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Springs to Randy Arozarena. And we should be able to get some damage done. 4-3 record with an ERA of 4.98. We didn't hit any homers yesterday. And typically when we do, our win percentage, even when we hit just 1 home run, we win typically like 75% of the time. So, again, we didn't have one yesterday. We ended up losing 7-6. Feels like it might be a little bit different here today. Pitch is outside, low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Springs to Randy Arozarena. 3-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 pitch. And there we go. Randy with a walk. We'll take that. Good start here in the first inning, even though JP and Polo couldn't get anything going. Julio with the first pitch strike takes it out of the stadium, baby. 1-0 Mariners. Randy getting on with a walk. And next up, here in the top of the first with a runner at first with 2 outs, catcher Mitch Garver. Go, Mitch. First pitch on the line, fouled off with the slider. 0-1 count. One pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Springs to Garver. Come on, Mitch. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Springs to Mitch Garver. Top of the first, runner at first with 2 outs, 1-0 Mariners with a Julio Rodriguez solo dinger. And hopefully find a way to add on a little bit more as the game goes on. Two-one pitch, pitches outside. 3 balls and 1 strike from Jeffrey Springs to Mitch Garver. Force the walk if you can. Yeah, I'll agree to that as well. And Cal with the day off, just on a rest day, we definitely are going to need him. I'm curious to see how Polo plays defense at second, since he hasn't really played that position since last year, and they initially put him at third, but he kind of has a noodle arm. He's not very good defensively, so we'll see how it goes. But the big news is we got Dylan Moore back today, and he's in the lineup, so hopefully we'll get some production out of Demo, who was batting around 300 before he got hurt. So excited to see what we get there. Garver in play, and they got him. Grounded out to the shortstop, throw to first, and let's go to the bottom of the first inning, but the damage is done. 1-0 Mariners with a Julio Rodriguez first pitch strike. Homer to center, 407 feet. And again, we typically know Julio is aggressive, but when he ends up being overly aggressive and ends up taken out of the yard, obviously that's going to be beneficial for us since he is such a streaky hitter. Nice job, Julio. Next up, for the Athletics, right fielder Lawrence Butler. Batting second, DHing for the A's, Brent Rooker. And batting third, left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. Brett, you've been MIA. We haven't seen you here on the channel in quite some time, and you even missed my birthday. No happy birthday text. No happy birthday in the chat. What's up with that? Not a good look. Especially when your birthday is in this month as well. Not a good look, Brett. Lawrence Butler in the box. And on the mound for the Mariners, 1-1 record with an ERA of 6.62, Emerson Hancock. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. All right, looks like we're just about to approach 10 on the double digits. So if you are in the room, do your boy a solid and smash that like button if you can, because that'll help us get to that 20 number, and then we can hit the algorithm at that point and hopefully get a few more recommendations and a few more people to come through and watch with us. Lawrence Butler, first pitch in play, slide out to left, just like J.P. Crawford when he was at bat, one away. Everyone is trying to take advantage of those first pitch strikes. Down goes LB Lawrence Butler. We'll take that. First pitch from Hancock to Rooker, low and away with a sinker, 94 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking with the sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Rooker. We definitely need Emerson to pitch well. Logan Evans, got roughed up against the Rangers. Bryce Miller does not look, right this year in 2025. And Hancock has been getting better as the season has been going on, giving up those 6 runs in his first start, and his ERA was 81. Now it's down to 6. But again, we're going to need him to hold the A's to 3 runs or less to give us a good chance to win this game. Takes a strike looking, now count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Rooker. And Rooker has a good eye and gets walked by Hancock. All right. See if we can get a double play now as Rooker goes to first. Next up, left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. First pitch to Soderstrom, low and in the zone with a sinker, 94 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Bottom of the first, 1-0 Mariners with a solo jack by Julio to get the game started. So we're off to a good start. Oh-1 pitch, change up, low and away with a big strike swinging. Big swing and a miss, behind in the count now 0-2 from Hancock to Soderstrom. And hopefully we can end up getting some Hayes early on for Emerson so he can gain a little bit of confidence as the game goes on. 4 starts, 1-1 record, 17.2 innings pitch, ERA of 6.62, and hopefully we can get that down a little bit lower. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hancock to Soderstrom. Go, baby. And got him. There we go. Nice punch out on Tyler Soderstrom. There we go. Nice job, Emerson. And again, getting punch outs early will gain that confidence for, obviously being one of the lower name guys that's pitching, since we don't have access to Logan Gilbert or George Kirby yet. Nice job getting your first punch out in the first inning. Down goes Soderstrom. Next up for the Athletics at third base, in the cleanup spot, Miguel Andujar. First pitch, tries to jam the hitter at the hips, fouls it off with the sinker, 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch, low and away with the strike swinging. Finding the count now 0-2. Hancock to Andujar. We need to win this game. We win this game, we have a very good chance of winning tomorrow with Brian Wu on the bump. So got to get it done here today, and I feel that we should be able to get a couple home runs. I don't know what the maximum number would be, maybe 4. But if we got one with Julio early on, there's probably a safe sign that we're going to get at least 1 or 2 more. And Rooker steals second. Got a good jump there. Bottom of the first with no outs. Rooker now on second. And we got a 2-2 count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. from Hancock to Andor. Pitch was low and away from Hancock to get it to a 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second. Hopefully we can get another punch out here. Wow. And Rooker sliding in safe. And then we tag Andor at second, but the damage is down him out. It's going to be one of those kind of games, huh? Andor single to right, Rooker scores from second, and then Andor trying to stretch a single to a double and gets tagged out by J.P. Crawford. Well, I guess we're in for a long one here, and we'll see how it goes, but maybe it'll be similar to what we had yesterday. But hopefully we end up being on the winning end of the matchup. We're knotted up at 1. End of the first inning. All right, see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners in the 6-hole, right fielder Dylan Moore. Batting second, first baseman Donovan Solano. And batting third baseman Ben Williamson. And on the mound is Jeffrey Springs, 4-3 record with an ERA of 4.98. Let's go, baby. Got to find a way to get the dub. And tomorrow we're going to be on pretty early. I believe the game is going to be on around 11:30 Pacific. So that's pretty early. In previous years, we haven't really proven. It looks like it's going to be on at 12:30. So 12:35 will be the first pitch. And it'll be Hoagland, who's 1-0, versus Brian Wu, who's 4-1, our best pitcher this year. So, in previous years, we couldn't really play in the morning or in the afternoon that well, but things have changed since we're a top 4 hitting team now, and hopefully we can find a way to, not give up as much as we did yesterday. That was pretty rough watching Bryce struggle, but he's been struggling pretty much all year. All right, first pitch from Springs to Demo. Takes a strike looking with the slider. 0-1 count. Captain in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within that first hour. And we're shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Demo is back. Cal Raleigh with the rest day. And hopefully Demo can help us. 286 average. So he was batting right around 300 before he ended up getting hurt. First pitch, strike looking. Right down the pipe. 0-1 count. Top of the second, 1-1 Mariners and Athletic. Julio with a first pitch solo dinger to get us on the board 1-0. And then we had Miguel Andor singling to right. Rooker scoring from second after stealing that bag, and then Andor trying to stretch out a single to a double gets tagged out to end the inning. And we're knotted up at 1. Let's go, baby. Now, Dylan Moore should be playing every day. Same thing with like Leo Rivas, but there's always going to be 1 or 2 guys that are the odd man out, especially when certain guys start coming back healthy. But based off production, Demo and Rivas, as kind of utility players that can play, multiple positions, they need to be playing every day. 2024 Gold Glove winner, Demo. Very underrated. 2-2 pitch is low and at the knees. Now count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Springs to Dylan Moore. And big swing and a miss. Down goes Demo. Next up is Donovan Solano. First pitch to Solano, takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off with the cutter. High and inside, behind in the count. 0-2 from Springs to Solano. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is outside, fouled off. Still count remains. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Jeffrey Springs on the mound in the top of the second. Donovan Solano in the box. Batting average is 137. No homers and only 1 ribby in 2025. Pitch is high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Springs to Solano. And Solano strikes out swinging. No surprise there. And hopefully Donovan can get us at least a hit, but definitely it is not working. Next up, third baseman Ben Williamson. Great defender at third. Best guy that we've had there since Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. And he's got great baseball IQ. Should be our third baseman for the next 10 years. Let's go. First pitch, high and outside, strike swinging in the zone, in the count, 0-1 from Springs to Ben Williamson. Top of the second, 1-1, Mariners and Athletics, with nobody on with 2 outs. 0-1 pitch, pitch is inside, tries to jam the hitter with a 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Springs to Williamson. Yeah, I saw that this morning. Not the greatest player, from the Rangers, but at least it gives us another name in play. On a 1-1 pitch, and Big Ben Williamson singles the left, baby. I love it. There we go. Nice job, Ben. Next up, playing left field today in the 9-hole, Miles Mastrobuoni. Let's go, Miles. But it'll be interesting to see, what they decide to do with Leody Taveras. I would imagine, he'll be in the running to play right field. He's more of like an outfield guy. So, left field if Randy has a day off, right field if they feel that that's a spot that they want to try him out at. So we'll see how it goes. And hopefully it'll be another guy that we bring in that people don't really expect a whole lot. And then he ends up surprising like Victor Robles did last season. Not saying that he's going to be Victor Robles, but hopefully he'll end up being an asset for us. Appreciate you, Captain. Feeling good about today and tomorrow, especially with Wu on the mound tomorrow. So I still think we're going to win the series. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, with a little cactus stack, bang, bang. And again, typically when the Mariners hit a home run, we win 75 to 80% of the time. Yesterday, we didn't hit one. We ended up getting, 6 runs, but again, not the type of performance that we were expecting out of Bryce Miller, who has been a disappointment this year in 2025. Yeah, he does have a back issue, but he just hasn't looked right, and hopefully he will at some point. But on the bright side, at least Luis Castillo looks better in the last few years this year than what he did in the last, 2023, 2024. So at least we have that going for us. We don't have a whole lot of trust with Logan Evans or Emerson Hancock. They just need to keep us afloat until we get Kirby and Gilbert back, and we won't have to worry about those other 2. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. We're at 10:90 to go. Pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs and a runner at first in the top of the second. We're knotted up at 1. Jeffrey Springs on the mound. Miles Mastrobuoni in the box. Go, Miles. In play. Oh, baby. You know what it is. Let's go. Mastroboni doubled to left. Williamson scored 2-1 Mariners. Let's go. Let's go. And you know when you can get production out of your 7, 8, and 9 hole, and you know things are going well? Nice job, Miles Mastroboni in the 9 hole, coming up big with that double. Big Ben's got the speed, and now we got a 2-1 lead. This is exactly what we needed. Next up, shortstop J.P. Crawford. First pitch, high and inside with a slider, 0-1 count. Let's go, JP. And even though we didn't really play very well, we should have won yesterday. Let's be real. You know, that decision, by Dan Wilson to walk 2 guys to get to Jacob Wilson was a mistake, and then not to bring in another, outfielder in. So that way we actually had guys that could battle that ground ball. So if we did have to throw home or do a base, that maybe we would have a better chance. So that's probably the first time that he made like a decision that we said, oh, I don't know. And then it actually backfired. Almost every other situation that he's done, have Gabe Spire pitch an inning, but then he has Vargas pitch 2, or something of that nature. Or Gabe's out there, pitches 5 pitches, but doesn't come back in the 7th inning. But then all of a sudden we have Trent Thornton for 2, but it works out. Sometimes the decisions are a little weird. Polo 3 for 4, and then he pinch hits Mitch Garver, and you're like, no, why would you do that for Polo? And then it just so happens Mitch Garver gets an RBI single, and then we win. So he's made a lot of kind of head scratching, ballsy decisions. He hasn't really gotten burnt on too many this year, like maybe 1 or 2, but one of them was last night. We definitely let that one slip through our fingers, but like I said, in spring training, I told you guys there would be 2 teams that would be much better this year than last year, and I said the Athletics and the Red Sox, and both teams look like they're going to have a chance to make the playoffs this year as maybe second-place teams in the division. Hopefully it ends up being Mariners in first, Athletics in second, and we already know the Yankees will win, obviously their division, but Boston could get second place there as obviously J.P. Crawford flies out to center. Let's go to the bottom of the 2nd inning and let me know what you want to do for photos, Captain. I appreciate you. Next up, catcher Shea Langoliers. Batting 2nd, center fielder J.J. Bleday. And batting 3rd, the hero, shortstop Jacob Wilson. But so far, so good. It's kind of what we expected. Maybe giving up a run every 1 or 2 innings. But hopefully, if Hancock does go 5 or 6, hopefully, he only gives up 3. Maybe a maximum of 4 is what you can give up if you're Emerson Hancock, Logan Evans, or like Bryce Miller. But if you give up any more than that, definitely running a risk of us not being able to hit that number. But luckily for us, we've been able to average, about 5-6 runs a game for almost a month. And last year's team, we were only getting 1 to 3 runs. And it was pretty rare for us to hit 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, last year and the year before, especially being the worst team in batting in many low categories and the number 1 strikeout team. Hancock to Langoliers. That pitch is fouled off on a 4-seam fastball inside. Count remains 0-2. 2-1 Mariners. Let's go. I got you, man. Trident's up. Great to see him get going because this is the type of game where we need someone to kind of set the tone. And a lot of times it ends up being someone like Polo, but it's nice that it actually was Julio Rodriguez. Maybe he'll end up getting another one later today. And Langoliers with a little single there into left. Bottom of the 2nd with no outs. Next up is J.J. Bleday. And we need a little dribbler here that obviously Hancock can go to J.P. Crawford, and maybe we can get a double play to Solano here. First pitch, tries to jam J.J. Bleday with a sinker. 1-0 count. 2-1 Mariners. Great start. And Julio with a first pitch homer, which is great since he's overly aggressive. Andujar singled to right. Booker scored from second, making it 1-1. And then Mastroboni doubled to left. Williamson scored in the top of the 2nd. We're getting scoring in every part of the inning, and I love it. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to J.J. Bleday. Let's go, Emerson. 1-1 pitch, fouled off with the sinker. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hancock to J.J. Bleday. Jacob in the building. What's good? Yeah, well, Cavs, they have injuries, and injuries is not going to be your best friend, especially when you guys lack experience to make that deep run. Obviously, you know, we seen what the Knicks did, you know, against the Celtics and whatnot. So, again, you know, teams can steal games just like the Nuggets did with the Thunder, but just winning one game doesn't mean a lot. But for the Cavs, you know, with the injuries that you have, that might end up derailing your guys' chances to be able to, you know, match up against the Celtics, you know, in the Eastern Final. J.J. Bleday popped out to first. 1 away. But also, too, you have to realize, you know, Captain, if the Joker goes off for, you know, some insane stat line where he's like, you know, 40 points, 15 to 20 rebounds, 10 to 15 assists, and a couple blocks, it is exactly what he had, it's hard to win. So again, you know, just got to be able to have a better defensive strategy, you know, more double teams, triple teams, and let everyone else beat you but him, and they'll be able to lock in. All right, there we go. End of the second inning. We have a 2-1 lead, and let's see who's up next for the Mariners. And again, like Boston ended up losing because they ended up throwing up 63s like a bunch of dummies. We understand you love three-pointers, but, you know, again, if you're only going to make like, you know, a small fraction, like 5 to 15 threes out of 60, you're not going to win, you know, plain and simple. So, you know, there'll definitely be another strategy for Boston as well. So we'll see how it goes. But I still think we have a very good chance of having a Thunder Celtics final. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners here in the top of the third, 0 for 1, second baseman today, playing not just in the box, but defensively, Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 1 for 1, our hero today with a solo dinger, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Let's get it, baby. Trident's up. And batting third in the 4-hole, giving Cal Raleigh a needed rest day, DHing today instead, Randy Arozarena, who is overdue for a home run or a big play. It feels like it's been a while since Randy has been hot. I mean, the last time Randy was hot is when we played Skubal and the Tigers. So think about that, how long it's been where we really had like a Randy moment where he's hit like a homer or 2 homers in a game or ended up having a big RBI to help us win. So again, Randy kind of streaky like Julio. When he's on, he's really on. But when he's off, he's almost ice cold. So hopefully we can get something here. Great start. First pitch to Polo from Jeffrey Springs, high and inside at the head, 1-0 count. Polo in the box, Jeffrey Springs on the mound. 1-0 pitch, high and away with a cutter, 85 miles an hour after a slider, 2-0 count. And Polo ain't afraid to take a walk. You know, again, he's got incredible patience, incredible power this year, great follow-through swing. He can pull the baseball with the best of them this year in 2025. And again, hopefully we can get Polo to go yard here in this game as well. That would be great. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking with a slider. 2 balls and 1 strike from Springs to Polo. Two-1 pitch, takes a strike, swinging with the changeup low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Springs to Polo. Top of the third, 2-1 Mariners. And again, yesterday's game almost went 4 hours and went into 11 innings. But again, you know, pitching hasn't really been our forte, you know, but hitting has. But, you know, we definitely want our, you know, starters to come back with Logan Gilbert and George Kirby because it has been a little rough. Down goes Polo, 1 away. Next up for the Mariners with the solo dinger, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. And Julio, first pitch, high and away. Doesn't swing at the garbage, which is rare. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch to Julio with a slider inside at the head. 2-0 count. Is this, are we actually getting patience out of Julio in the box? I mean, he did go for the first pitch homer, which he did connect on with Springs to give us the 1-0 lead. 2-0 pitch. Low and at the knees, strike swinging with that changeup, 79 miles an hour. Got fooled by Springs there. Let's go, Julio. Getting a multi-homer game would be great. 5 more likes to 20. Let's get there. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. And the faster that we can get to 20, we can hit that algorithm. And we're at 10 on the dono train, and we got 90 to go. Well, Cal's got the day off, so he can't, hit a home run today unless they have him pinch hit late in the game. And Julio singles to right. This is awesome. This is probably the best start that we've seen out of Julio in a minute. Julio, first pitch, overly aggressive, and we're like, no. And then he connects and he goes yard, and then you're like, yes. Okay. And then getting a single at his second at bat. Exactly what we need from a guy like Julio. Next up, Randy Arozarena, top of the third, 2-1 Mariners. Now we got Julio at first, who can steal a bag and get to second and get into scoring position, hopefully without being thrown out. And hopefully we can find a way to extend this lead here just a little bit. Kurtz tried to get that baseball and missed it. And Julio will take it. That should have been a routine out there for the Athletics, but, again, we'll take it. As you have 2 Athletics converge on the play, Kurtz misses it. And obviously in that foul territory, if you have that kind of raised area of dirt, trips over himself, and Julio ends up being safe, which is great. Yeah, they've had a few different, different social media outlets, and they have Cal Raleigh in the top 5. They had him at 4 on the post that you saw and that I saw as well. One ball and 2 strikes from Springs to Randy Arozarena. Pitch fouled off. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-1 Mariners. I feel very good about today's game. I feel good about every game. Just the way that we've been playing lately. We got one of the best records in baseball. You knew that this team was just as hot as us, that could win, 2 games out of 3. They won game number 1, but like I said, I feel that we'll get revenge tonight and win game 2. And then we got Woo on the mound tomorrow. And as long as Woo gives us a Woo-like performance, we're going to beat the Athletics tomorrow. He's our best. And Woo is pitching, like a fringe all-star player. So hopefully he can keep it up. And we can end up getting Woo with 10 to 15 wins this year. He's already 4-1. There's a good chance. And down goes Randy. 2 away. Next up, catcher Mitch Garver. Top of the third, runner at first with 2 outs, 0 for 1 for Mitch Garver. First pitch inside with the cutter at the head from Springs, 1-0 count. Julio is one of those guys that, we know he's got all the talent in the world, and, if he's going to continue to not really be patient in the box and be overly aggressive, on the first 2 pitches, well, make sure you're connecting then, so that way that you actually can get home runs, or you're getting, singles or doubles to actually get on base to help the team win. And, luckily for today, he's got a solo dinger and a single, and that definitely is setting the tone for the Mariners here this evening. We're going to need, someone to step up, and, hopefully we can get a few other guys to step up and do what Julio's doing so far. 1-1 pitch, fouled off with the change up there. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Springs to Garver. Top of the third, 2-1 Seattle. Runner at first with 2 outs. Springs on the mound. Garver in the box. And hopefully we can add on, the faster that we can end up getting to 4 or 5 runs, kind of setting the tone will be key. One-two pitch, 4-seam fastball fouled off. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs with a runner at first, Julio. And we don't want Julio to be overly aggressive and, get caught stealing at second. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is outside about 5 feet off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Springs to Garver. Take the walk if you can get to that point. Let's go, Mitch. And down goes Garver. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and see who is up next here for the Athletics. Next up for the Athletics at first base in the 8-hole, Nick Kurtz. Batting second, the former Seattle Mariner, second baseman Luis Urias. Had a fantastic game yesterday. At one point, he was 3 for 4. And batting third, 0 for 1, right fielder Lawrence Butler. Let's go M's. All right, let's take a quick peek, which we usually do around the 3rd or 4th inning to see how each pitcher is doing. All right, so Hancock about to come in here for the bottom of the 3rd. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1 K, 26 pitches, 17 strikes, ERA of 6.41. But remember, it was 81 after he gave up 6 runs in his first start and got sent down to AAA. So, hopefully we'll get that to a, 4 or 5 number sooner than later. And let's take a look at Jeffrey Springs, excuse me. And if Jeffrey Springs, 3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 59 pitches, 36 strikes, and his ERA is 5.06. So definitely a winnable game here today, and we just need other individuals to step up other than Julio. Reflect in the building, what's good? And just to give everyone an update, especially for people that are just hopping in. So in the top of the 1st, Julio, first pitch, overly aggressive, swings for the moon and actually connects. 407 feet to center, 1-0 Mariners, Tridents up. Then Andujar singled to the right after Brent Rooker stole a bag and then scored from second. And then Andujar stretching a single to a double got, called out at second. The inning ended, but not after Andujar singled to right and getting the Rooker score. 1-1 in the bottom of the 1st. And then in the top of the 2nd, Mastroboni doubled to left. Big Ben Williamson scored when we had 2 outs, and then we went up 2-1. So nice to be able to see a few of these guys hitting early and often, and hopefully that won't be the end of it. After Kurtz fell down on the previous out to Julio, 3 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to Kurtz. And so far so good for Emerson Hancock. Again, we already know Logan Evans is shaky. Bryce Miller does not look good this year. And we got to have Hancock hold, the Athletics to 3 or less, maybe 4 at the most. But if we can keep it under 3, that will improve our chances of winning this game today, which I feel we're going to have a very good chance to get to 5 or 6 runs here today as well. 3-1 pitch, fouled off in the zone from Hancock to Kurtz. Count still remains full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the third, 2-1 Mariners. STL in the building, what's good? And pitch 5 feet off the plate from Hancock. Kurtz with a walk. All right, we need a double play now. Next up, the former Seattle Mariner. And at one point in the game, he was 3 for 4, Luis Urias. And hopefully we can get him to go into a slow dribbler. Polo is playing second today, and it is Dylan Moore's debut, playing in right field. And hopefully we can get Demo, at least a hit here today to get him back into the rhythm. And hopefully Polo doesn't have any errors at second, being this the first game that he's actually not just DHing, he's actually playing defense as well. Bottom of the third, 2-1 Mariners, good vibes only. Feels anytime we end up going into those long streams where the game ends up being, almost 4 hours long, we typically haven't, won those games like we did against the Giants, or that one went almost 4 hours long. And then last night almost went 4 hours long. We got to be able to find ways to win late. But again, Dan Wilson's strategy to walk those 2 guys to get to Jacob Wilson and not bring an infielder a little bit closer or an outfielder in to at least have better chances. But it was a grinded out game. You got to give them credit. And again, the A's are good. I mean, they're 20-16. When is the last time that the A's had an above 500 record of more than a game? Like, let's be real. It's been a fucking long time, and it's cool to see. I don't like losing to this team, but I like rooting for them. Especially when they don't fucking have a stadium. Everything is against them. They will be playing in a beautiful Las Vegas Athletics, building in a few years. But I'm actually pulling for the Athletics. Maybe not here tonight, but in general, I want them to get second place, and I want them to make the playoffs as a wild card. I would love it if Seattle won the division and the Athletics took the spot from the Astros or the Rangers. We know the Angels have no shot. So it'll be a, 3-team race, obviously for that second spot. And, we'll see who ends up winning the division, but, I like our chances. Matt in the building, what's good? Bottom of the third, runner at second with 1 out. And Kurtz with that wild pitch. And Urias flies out to center, thank God. Next up is Lawrence Butler. First pitch, fouled off with the changeup right down the pipe from Hancock. 0-1 count. Bottom of the third, runner at second, 2-1 Mariners. And that's exactly what we needed. A couple runs early in the matchup to kind of set the tone. So that way we're not down 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. And I like their roster, I've been a fan of their roster for a few years now. Butler grounds out to second, Kurtz to third, 2 away. But I mean, Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker, and Tyler Soderstrom, he's obviously having a breakout year with 9 homers, but was leading the MLB in the first 2 weeks of the season before, everyone else kind of caught up and surpassed, like Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge, Eugenio Suarez with that 4-homer game that got him to 10, as well as Kyle Schwarber at 10. And I know Judge ended up hitting a homer. And Rooker singles to center. Kurt scores. We're knotted up at 2. And kind of a back and forth game like yesterday. And next up, Tyler Soderstrom. Can't afford for him to go yard here. Got to get out of this inning. Stop the bleeding. Can't give up more than a run or two per inning. We got to try to keep it like one, maybe one score, and then the next inning, nothing, one score, the next inning, nothing, one score, and then nothing, and then your day is over. So hopefully that will be the case, and then we can end up matching the production as well. First pitch fouled off with the changeup. 0-1 count from Hancock to Soderstrom. 0-1 pitch fouled off again. Now behind in the count 0-2. But I think it would be sweet, for MLB fans, to be able to see some new teams in the playoffs. Like, I would love it, for it to be the Mariners and the Athletics, 1-2. I want to see the Tigers in there. I want to see the Cubs in there. I want to see the Giants in there. So for all the teams that weren't really supposed to be that great, it's nice to be able to see some new teams, show that they can hang. And like I said, I knew that the Athletics and the Red Sox would be better this year, and there's a pretty good possibility you might see both of those teams, or at least one of those teams, make it. Maybe the Red Sox have a better chance than the Athletics, but I wouldn't count the A's out. I like them. Bottom of the third, 2-2, runner at first, Hancock on the mound, Soderstrom in the box. Pitch is high and inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hancock to Soderstrom. Yeah, I like rooting for the underdogs. Plus, when's the last time the Cubs were actually at the top of the division? It's been a minute. They're fun to watch. They got a few guys, like Crow Armstrong and a few others that are besides Kyle Tucker, that was the big signing. But Pete Crow Armstrong is awesome to watch. I try to watch a lot of the other teams play, but Tigers are fun. They're young and up and coming. Same thing, obviously, with the Cubs. And then obviously, I don't think anyone expected the Giants to be as good, in that division with powerhouse teams like the Padres and Dodgers, but it's a nice surprise, to make things a little interesting. So it's not just the same fucking 4 or 5 teams every year. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Soderstrom. And Rooker steals second. And safe at third with a throwing error by Garver. Come on. We're getting sloppy out there, especially with Cal not out there. JP can't come up with that. But we got to make sure we stop the bleeding here. And in play, and Soderstrom flies out to third. Thank God. All right, so again, we end up having a couple fuck-ups there. But again, it is Emerson Hancock on the mound, and as long as our bats can match, maybe some, mid to below average pitching, that we should be able to hang around. And again, it is a little bit weird, not having a top 3 pitching staff. And then obviously not really being able to hit. But this year, we're able to hit, and the pitching isn't good, but again, even when our pitching was top 3, think about how many times Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Bryce Miller, Luis Castillo, or Brian Wu did great, and then, we could barely hit, right? And then the bullpen fucked it up, and then we ended up losing, even when, Gilbert got 10 Ks, and then we ended up losing 3-2. So again, it's nice to be able to have, the great starting pitching, but if your bullpen isn't good, you're not going to typically end up winning, because there'll still be 3 or 4 innings that you have to hang tough after that starter goes out. And if you're, batting 180 to 200 as a team, and you're the number 1 strikeout team, as the Mariners were, it's like if you end up getting bases loaded and you don't get anything, you might lose. But this year, we can get bases loaded, no outs, and come up with nothing, and we're not devastated. We're disappointed, but we know that, hey, at least the bats are alive, and maybe the next inning we're going to score. So, again, pitching has been suspect, bullpen as well, but when you can end up getting about 6 runs per game average for about a month, you feel pretty confident that even if your pitching fucks up, starter or bullpen, as long as we can match that energy, that we should be in almost every single game. And let's think about this. Have we really gotten blown out this year? And the answer is no. So again, even when we lose, we typically lose by a run. So I like our chances here today. Let's go to the top of the 4th inning, and we got Dylan Moore. Welcome back, Demo. And again, was batting, right around, 300. for a good chunk of the year. And again, with a couple hits here, he'll be right back at that number. But he's been hovering around 280 to 300. And again, getting a player like this, a Gold Glove winner, a guy that is the ultimate utility guy, kind of like a Kike Hernandez for the Dodgers. You can literally put Demo anywhere but first or catcher. If you need him at second, you need him at short, you need him at third, you need him in left field, center, right, DH, he can do it. And hopefully we can get Demo going here. Top of the fourth, 2-2. Good game here so far. First pitch to Demo, low and away. 1-0 count. First pitch, high and away with a strike, looking with a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike from Springs to Demo. Yeah, but they have some key guys on the roster that aren't there. And Santander is on the, Blue Jays now. And that was a guy that, you felt that could hit 30, 40, 50 home runs last year. He was super hot, right? So not having a guy like that is essentially like the Astros not having Kyle Tucker or the Astros not having Alex Bregman and going to the Red Sox. When you miss out on a piece that ended up really breaking out and then you don't have it anymore, and then some of the other guys are slumping, that'll do it. And, we assume that certain teams that have been struggling early on will find their way, as we have one out there. Next up is Donovan Solano after Demo ends up flying out to right. But, we'll see where the Orioles and the Braves and a few of these other teams that we know that have talent, if they can catch up in the second half of the season. If you remember, the Astros were terrible, right, at the beginning of the year, but then they ended up finding their groove at the end and still ended up winning the division. So it's not how you start, it's how you finish. 2 balls and 1 strike from Springs to Solano. Judah in the building. What's good? Takes the strike, swinging in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Donovan Solano. And it may not be working fully, but it's been better as of late for Donovan Solano. And again, I would rather see Solano batting around 150 rather than .50. And being 4 for 40 in his first, 40 at-bats. He at least has been able to get about a hit in almost every game since that point where he kind of hit rock bottom. And, again, that'll definitely help us out. Anything that we can get out of him positive-wise. But don't expect too much. I mean, the most you're going to get out of Solano is maybe 2 hits in a game, and you're only going to get that probably once or twice, in a season, it seems like. He's usually only going to get you 1 or none. And he dribbles out, throw to first, 2 away. Next up, a guy that we can rely on, a guy that's got a great arm, a laser, a cannon, and obviously got great baseball IQ in the box, Ben Williamson. First pitch, takes a strike, looking with the cutter, 0-1 count from Springs to Williamson. 0-1 pitch, high and away with a 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Springs to Williamson. And this should be our third baseman for the next 10 years. We don't got to worry about finding who's going to be our next third baseman. We got him. Takes a strike, swinging inside, tried to jam him. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the 4th. We're knotted up at 2. Where are we at on the likes? Have we hit 20 yet? And we're at 10 on the dono train, 90 to go. Pitch is high and away, fouled off. Change up. High and away, fouled off again. Where are we at? We're at 22. All right, so if you're in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We only need 8 more to hit 30. But we hit the 20 number, so thank you to all the people that have done that. 8 more to go to hit 30. Let's go. Top of the fourth, 2-2, Mariners and Athletics. And Williamson in play, grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, got him. All right, let's go to the bottom of the fourth inning. And Emerson Hancock doing pretty good. I mean, obviously, you want him to be clean and not give up really anything or like one, but, you have to understand when you got Logan Evans, Emerson Hancock, and Bryce Miller, and they're all untrustworthy, you have to assume they're going to give up 1 to 3 runs, and it could end up being bad. It could end up being 4 to 10 runs. So when it ends up being 1 to 3, and when it's Bryce Miller, Logan Evans, Emerson Hancock, that should make you happy. Because, hell, if the Mariners can't put up more than 3, we don't deserve to win at that point. And luckily, we've been averaging about 6 runs, in the last month. So no excuses. Obviously, we know our bullpen has been shaky at times, but you could say that for any team. But we just need the bats to come alive. And we got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow, right, at 12:30 Pacific. And we know that if he pitches well, like he did on my birthday with the one hitter, that we should have a very good chance to win not only, that game, but if we win today, this series. And if we win this, it'll be our 9th consecutive series. And that's what I want, and that's what I need. Next up for the Athletics, third baseman, 1-for-1 with an RBI, Miguel Andujar. Batting second, 1-for-1 catcher in the 5-hole, Shea Langeliers. And batting third, 0-for-1 center fielder, J.J. Bleday. Let's go Mariners. Which game? For your game, for the Guardians, or for the game that I'm doing tomorrow? Because obviously it'll be 12:35 is first pitch. I'll be live at 12:30 to Pacific time, and then usually some parts of the Midwest it'll be 2-hour difference. But depending on where you are in the middle of the country, sometimes it's 3, like Cincinnati, I guess, and then obviously East Coast it's 3-hour difference. So. Andujar grounds out to third, 1 away. We'll take that. Nice job by Emerson Hancock, looking good. Maybe he's the most trustworthy out of the 3. Who would have thought that Emerson Hancock is more trustworthy than Bryce Miller or Logan Evans, but that's what we're getting. Next up is Shea Langeliers. First pitch, takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, pitches outside, 3 feet off the plate with a 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Langeliers. Let's go, Emerson. You got your ERA from 81 down to 6, and with a couple good starts, we can get that number into the 5s, and then eventually, hopefully in the high 3s. That's where exactly we would want a guy like Hancock, to be like somewhere between 3.50 and 3.90, considering he was up at 81. It's kind of hard to get your ERA down when you start off at 81 and give up 6 runs in the first inning and get sent down to AAA. But he's been doing a pretty good job ever since the very poor start. And we don't have to worry about guys like Luis F. Castillo, thank God, since we have others that can obviously pitch, we hope, better than him. Pitches outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Langeliers. Two pitch in play, and Langeliers grounds out to third, throw to first, got him, 2 away. You don't want none of Ben Williamson, baby. Next up, center fielder, 0-for-1, J.J. Bleday.
Oh my God.
So depending on where you are in the country, Jacob, then it'll be, 2:30 your time or 3:30 your time based on where you're at. So first pitch with a strike looking outside from Hancock to Blade. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Blade. But I like what I've been seeing out of Emerson Hancock today. A much better than what we saw out of Logan Evans against the Rangers and what we saw with Bryce Miller yesterday. But Bryce hasn't looked good all year. There hasn't really been, that many opportunities where he's looked good. Maybe 1 or 2 games, out of the 5 or 6 that he's pitched that he's looked good. But obviously hasn't looked good in a minute. Kind of hitting the wall. And obviously we know his back has been a problem, but hopefully it won't be for the whole season. And got him. Nice job, Hancock. Strike swinging. Punched him out. There we go. Nice job, Emerson. We need someone to step up to give us a little bit of swagger. It can't just be Brian Wu and Luis Castillo. We need at least another guy. We need 3 guys out of 5 to be good, not just 2 out of 5. Nice job, Emerson. Solid. Go to the top of the 5th inning, and we're knotted up at 2. Putting us in a great position to win. Next up, in the 9-hole, 1 for 1 with an RBI, left fielder today, Miles Mastrobuoni. Batting second, playing shortstop, 0 for 2. Maybe drop a bunt down, J.P. Crawford. And batting third, 0 for 2, playing second base today, Jorge Polanco. Let's go, baby. Would love to be able to see Rivas get a chance to play at some point today as well. Now, A's are good, man. Like I said, I do a lot of reading and I do a lot of film study. I don't make a lot of wrong predictions or predictions that are going to be off. Now, obviously, sports is sports and anything can happen, but again, I'm not surprised that the Athletics are playing this good, and I'm not surprised that the Red Sox were playing as good as they were. If you look at some of the subtle changes that they made with both organizations and, going into this year, it definitely felt like this could be a good, positive year for both teams. And it looks like I'm hitting the head right on the nail, right on the top on both. So, and there is, probably a good chance that you're going to get one of those teams to make it, and you might even get both. Top of the 5th, we're knotted up at 2.
Oh my gosh.
4 more likes at 30. Let's get there. And nice to see Julio having a positive impact here today, obviously with a single and a solo dinger. And hopefully that will not be it. Hopefully this will be like one of those monster days where Julio goes like 4 for 5, because we may need it. Because remember, a lot of times, for whatever reason, I don't know if you guys have noticed this as well, but a lot of times when Julio plays great and has that like, oh my God, insane game, like no one else plays well. It's just like, it's just Julio and maybe like one other guy, and everyone else is, just kind of going through the motions and having a little bit of an off day, and sometimes when Julio goes off, we might still score a good amount of runs, but we might lose. But with today, it feels like, it set the tone for us, and he won't be the only one, I feel, that homers today. Again, homers are contagious. We didn't have when the Mariners hit at least 1 home run. We win like 70% of the time, and we didn't hit one yesterday. And like I said, we got 1 today, and I feel that we should be able to get hopefully 1 or 2 more. Top of the 5th, 2-2. 2-2 count from Springs to Miles Mastrobuoni. How do your young Huskies look? Obviously, we know the quarterback got a chance to play late into the season, and has a significant skill set, kind of like our quarterback with Dante Moore. So definitely will be a little bit more exciting than what you had last year when you guys tried to run the 2 quarterback system, which didn't work. It doesn't work. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Down goes Mastrobuoni. First pitch, low and away from Springs to Crawford. With the sweeper, 77 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, same location with the sweeper. 2-0 count from Springs to JP. Come on, JP. Find a way to get on base, even if you have to bunt. Let's go. Pitch is high and away, 3-0 count. This looks like it's going to be a walk. Yeah. Plus, they didn't really have the best players playing on the same team with each other. Like, we had our star quarterback and then the star wide receiver were on opposite teams. So you didn't really get a full feel of what's to come for the Ducks, as we come into the fall. But pitch fouled off. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and nobody on. Top of the 5th, we're knotted up at 2. This Athletic team is very, very good. And don't be surprised if they start beating up the Rangers, the Astros, and the A's like we do. The team is solid. JP in play and singled the center. Too bad they don't do like spring games where it was like Oregon versus Washington. Then it would be fun because then we would get all of our starters on offense and defense, and we can kind of, see how we look against a team that's like close to us, based off travel. And that would be exciting. And obviously it's never going to happen, but that would be, you would get more people interested. Next up, second baseman Jorge Polanco. After JP getting that long single there to center. Nice job, JP. Let's go, Polo. Top of the 5th with runner at first with 1 out. First pitch to Polo. High and away with the cutter, 1-0 count. Come on, Polo. Top of the 5th, 2-2. Mariners and Athletics. Runner at first with 1 out. Springs on the mound. Polo in the box, 0 for 2 with a line out and a ground out. 9 homers and 27 ribbies for Polo. Come on, baby. Pitches outside, 2-0 count from Springs to Polo. Come on, baby. Two-0 pitch. High and away. 3-0 count from Springs to Polo. And obviously Springs starting to lose a little bit of his control here in the 5th. Hopefully we can add on at least another run or 2 here. 3-0 pitch, takes a 4-seam fastball inside in the zone with the strike looking. 3 balls and 1 strike from Springs to Polo. 4-3 record with an ERA of 4.98 coming into the matchup. Come on, Polo. Three-one pitch, slider inside at the hip, fouled off. With the slider, the count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. With a runner at first with 1 out. We're knotted up at 2. We just need a little bit more production out of some of these other guys besides JP, Julio, and Miles Mastrobuoni. Come on now. And there we go. Polo forcing the walk. Nice job. Nice job, Polo. Next up, actually the guy that we would want up in this situation, runners at first and second, Julio Rodriguez. 2 for 2 with a solo dinger and a single. Let's go. We know you're incredibly streaky, but let's go, baby. See if this will be an opportunity for Julio to have one of those, 3 for 4 days or 4 for 5 days. He's off to a great start. 2 for 2, no pressure. The game is tied. Not like we're down 2 or 3 runs. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Let's see if Julio can get a little bit more magic here today. We need that Soto mojo. Go, baby. And they're going to go with a pitching change, I believe. All right, Julio. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez, high and away, takes a strike looking right on the line. Probably should have been a ball, but called strike by the ump. 0-1 count to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. See if we can go 3 for 3. We haven't seen Julio go 3 for 3 in quite a long time. Let's go, J-Rod. Tried heads up. You already got a homer in the first. 0-1 pitch with the changeup fouled off in the zone, behind in the count 0-2. See if you can climb yourself out of this. Top of the fifth, runners at first and second. With 1 out, we're knotted up at 2. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is 3 feet off the plate. Slider, 82 miles an hour from Springs. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out with runners at first and second. Come on, Julio. One-two pitch, changeup fouled off outside of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Springs to Julio. Come on, Julio. Top of the fifth, runners at first and second with 1 out. In play. And Julio flies out to right. Crawford to third. 2 away. Runners now on the corners. At least Julio moves someone over. Better than a strikeout. And next up in the 4-hole, DHing today, Randy Arozarena. 0 for 1 with the base on ball, but this will be a good opportunity to get an RBI single here to make it 3-2. We haven't really seen Randy, have a kind of a nice performance in a game in a minute. Last time that he was really doing something was when we played the Tigers in Skubal. So it's quite a while. We could really use something positive here out of Randy. First pitch, takes a strike looking with the slider. 0-1 count from Springs to Randy. Come on, Randy. We know you're incredibly streaky like Julio, but even Julio can do it once in a while. 0-1 pitch, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 89 miles an hour. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, knotted up at 2, top of the fifth, runners on the corners at first and third. Springs on the mound, Arozarena in the box. Come on, Randy. And Randy in play. And lined out to center field. We leave two stranded. Let's go to the bottom of the fifth inning and see who's up next for the Athletics. Next up for the Athletics in the bottom of the fifth, 0 for 1, shortstop, Jacob Wilson. Batting second, first baseman, 0 for 0 with a run and a base on ball, Nick Kurtz. And batting third, the former Seattle Mariner, 0 for 1, second baseman, Luis Urias. Let's go Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We only need 3 more to get to 30, and there's at least 15 to 20 that haven't done it yet. So if you could do your boy a solid, that would be great. More likes will get us more on the recommendations for YouTube and their algorithm. And again, we're at 10 on the dono train, 90 to go. And Cal isn't out there ripping dingers because he's got the day off. They're just giving him a rest day. He'll be in the lineup tomorrow. Reflect with a 3-year. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Let me know anything you want to see photo-wise, and I got you. Hopefully Julio will be able to step up for us as we go later into the matchup. All right, Jacob Wilson in the box. Hancock doing well. First pitch, takes a strike looking with a sinker. 0-1 count to Jacob Wilson. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Wilson. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the pipe. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hancock to Wilson. Come on, Emerson. You've been looking pretty good the last few starts. You know, it was a nightmare. And, you know, obviously when you first had that 6-run debacle and got, you know, pulled and sent to AAA, but you've been much better as the season has gone along. Wilson grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first. Got him. There we go. 1 away. Defense has been pretty damn good for Seattle. No issues there. Next up for the Athletics, 0 for 0 with a run and a base on ball, first baseman Nick Kurtz. In play, and Kurtz flied out to left. 2 away. Next up, second baseman Luis Urias. First pitch from Hancock to Urias. High and outside with a slider, 78 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, low and away, 3 feet off the plate with the slider. On the first pitch, far seam fastball, 93 miles an hour. On the second, 2-0 count from Hancock to Urias. 2-0 pitch, sinker in the zone, fouled off. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to Urias. Let's go, baby. Sinker, low and at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to Urias. Bottom of the 5th with 2 outs. We're knotted up at 2. Let's see if we can end up getting a strikeout here. Come on, Hancock. Let's go. And we get out of the inning. There we go. We're ranked 14th. Wow, I thought we would be ranked a little bit higher like yourself. I figured we would be, somewhere around like 10th or 11th. I mean, there's been some games where, hell, we're looking like a top 5 defensive team and whatnot, where we've been making amazing throws from third with Ben Williamson and, Ribas and JP with some magic at second and short. So, that gives us some room to improve, but definitely thought it was a little bit higher than that too. Yes. More trustworthy than Logan Evans and Bryce Miller even. Right now it's Wu, Castillo, Emerson Hancock, then Bryce Miller, and then probably Logan Evans. So, and then we'll get Kirby and Gilbert back, and then we won't have to worry about Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock. But I mean, hell, at this point, Hancock might be better than Bryce Miller. As we go further in the season, if Bryce's back doesn't get better, but we'll see where things go. All right, let's go to the top of the 6th inning and see if we can break away from this tie. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, catcher Mitch Garver. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder tonight, Dylan Moore. Let's get your first hit after being on the shelf for a few weeks. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, first baseman Donovan Solano. Maybe the best thing that we could hope for is getting hit by a pitch and not getting injured or forcing a walk. But just getting on base any way that you can will help. Let's go, M's. We'll be live tomorrow at 12:30 Pacific with Brian Wu on the mound. Can't wait for tomorrow. Should be awesome. Got to bring out the Mirror and the Moose now. First pitch to Mitch Garver, takes a strike looking inside. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, strike looking. Behind the count 0-2. And Springs with 3 consecutive pitches with a punch out. Garver, are you going to swing? Strike looking, strike looking, strike looking. Come on, Garv. That ain't going to get the job done. I mean, normally when he just sits there, it ends up turning into a 3-0 count, not an 0-3 count where you're struck out. But I guess it is what it is. Next up, right fielder Dylan Moore, 0 for 2 with a K. Let's make it 1 for 3. First pitch, 10 feet off the plate from Murdoch to Moore. And obviously we got Springs out of the game, and hopefully we can beat up Noah Murdoch. Which is low and away. 2-0 count from Murdoch to Moore. But I mean, as far as confidence is concerned with Miller or Hancock, who do you trust more right now pitching? We know Miller's got a couple more years on him and is a better pitcher, but with Bryce's issue with his back, I don't trust him. I feel I trust Hancock more lately within the last couple starts compared to the last couple starts we've seen Bryce. Bryce does not look good, for one of our main starters. So we know that he's the better one out of the two, but who's been pitching better lately? That's Hancock. So we'll see where it goes as the season progresses, but injuries are lingering. First pitch to Donovan Solano in the zone with a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch from Murdoch to Solano, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike with that cutter, 90 miles an hour. Top of the 6th with nobody on with 2 outs. We're knotted up at 2. And again, I feel that this is going to be the new rivalry, moving forward. The Mariners and the Athletics. even though we have that rivalry with the Astros and the Rangers and, the Angels as well, but Angels will be bottom feeders. Astros and Rangers aren't going to be as good, I feel, as, past years, but they'll still be battling for and jockeying for position. And again, nice to be able to see teams with low payrolls, overachieve. And I'm liking the Athletics and the Mariners and the Tigers and the Cubs and the Giants and teams that are, showing a way that, hey, it doesn't have to be the same teams every single year. Pitch fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Murdoch to Solano. And Solano reached on an infield single. There we go. And again, it's like even guys that you're like, oh, this is not going to lead to anything. Even Donovan Solano starting off the season 4 for 40, not working, right? But it has been working lately. You're not going to get typically 2-3 hits out of him in any game. But if he does go 1 for 4 and that hit ends up bringing, somebody on and we can end up bringing him home or at least being part of the rally, that's what we're wanting. And nice job by Donovan Solano going from .50 and trying to get his batting average up to 200. Next up is Ben Williamson. First pitch takes a strike, looking right down the pipe with the sinker, 93 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, sinker, right down the middle, fouled off, 0-2 count to Big Ben Williamson. And the 0-2 pitch, tries to jam the hitter with the sinker and got him. Down goes Big Ben. We leave one stranded in Donovan Solano. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and hopefully we can find someone to do something. And again, when Julio has a good game, a lot of times others don't. And I don't know why that is. Like, can't we have Julio do well when others do well? Now, when we have a huge lead, then Julio can add on to the lead. But when everyone is kind of struggling and he's the man for the game, a lot of times we don't really do well for whatever reason. But again, Master Boney has got a hit, JP, Ben. So it's not like, Julio is the only one that has done anything up to this point. But we are going to need someone else, to homer or to have a nice inning where we have back-to-back hits to lead to an RBI to get this to 3-2 or 4-2. Still have confidence that we can win this game. Next up, in the bottom of the 6th, 0 for 2 right fielder Lawrence Butler. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a run, RBI, and a base on ball, Brent Rooker. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. Let's go Mariners. We need good vibes, baby. Let's go. First pitch from Hancock to Rooker. Low and away. 1-0 count. And Rooker grounds out to second. 2 away. There we go. Down goes Lawrence Butler. Down goes Brent Rooker. Next up, 0 for 2 with the K, left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. Jackie Robinson, Ernie Riles, Willie Harris, Hurston Waldrep, and Emerson Hancock. A lot of MLB players born in Cairo, Georgia. Wow. Soderstrom trying to go for a triple, but said, nope, I'm going to get called out there. Nice double by Soderstrom. And in play for Miguel Andujar on the first pitch, and got him. All right, there we go. You know, it's fine if they end up getting a base knock, but as long as it doesn't lead to anything, and we'll take that. End of the sixth inning, a very grinded out type of series. And again, we haven't seen an opponent this good in a while. Like, we've had some pretty good teams that we played, but again, this is an up and coming team, and we haven't really felt a challenge like this since we ended up going 3-7 early in the season. So. All right, one sec here. One sec. Everything is got frozen.
Oh my gosh.
One. Hold up. All right, there we go. I don't know why it did that. All right, let's go to the top of the seventh inning. We're knotted up at 2. Next up is Miles Mastrobuoni. Top of the 7th, we're knotted up at 2. McFarland on the mound, Mastrobuoni in the box. Takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 2 strikes from McFarland to Mastrobuoni. Come on, Miles. I mean, the way that this game is going, I mean, it feels like it's going to be under 10 runs. So. I mean, it is possible for one of these teams or both of these teams to have a monster inning of like 4 to 5 runs. We've seen it before, but just the flow of this game, it kind of feels like we'll see what the bullpen, looks like for both teams, but it definitely feels kind of like it could end up being like a 4-2, 5-3 kind of game, even with a couple innings left. But I don't really see us getting to 10 runs total or more than that. So, and Mastrobuoni doubles the second. There we go, baby. Nice job. Miles having a good afternoon / evening in the 9 hole as well. Running hard to second, sliding in, safe. Nice job by Miles. Next up is J.P. Crawford. You need to drop a bunt down at some point or another. Let's go. Wow, they're challenging the save call with Master Boney. Really? Safe, man. What are we looking at here? First pitch to JP Crawford, low and away, 1-0 count. Let's go, JP. 1-0 pitch, low and away with the sinker again, 2-0 count. Let's see if JP can force a walk. Fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from McFarland. Oh, that was for Master Boney. Come on, JP. Come on, JP. And low and away again, and that is a walk. There we go. Nice job, JP, forcing the walk. 4 straight balls. Next up, second baseman Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. This would be a great time for a 3-run jack. Or even just getting a nice RBI here. Rash loosening up. I like hearing that. Top of the 7th, 2-2, Mariners and Athletics. And in play, and popped out by Polo to the pitcher. I don't mind guys bunting, but I would have rather had JP bunt rather than Polo there. All right, next up, center fielder, 2 for 3 with a run and an RBI. I mean, you could end up being the hero today, Julio, and be single-handedly the reason why we win this game. Nice catch by McFarland. Again, you got to put that bunt down, not pop it up, Polo. Let's go, Julio. You ended up going for a solo dinger early on, tridents up, and got a single after that. We're going to need a Julio 3 for 4 kind of day if we're going to win. All right, they're going to go to the pen. Top of the 7th, runners at first and second. We're knotted up at 2. Julio in the box. And hopefully we can find a way to celebrate Julio. You know, we definitely have been hard on him, this season. And again, it seems like almost every player but him has been able to kind of get into a rhythm or a groove. But again, he has hit more home runs at this point in his career at this stage of games than he typically does. If you remember last year, it took, almost 20 plus games before he ended up getting his first homer. So again, not exactly where we want to have Julio, batting average wise, but we have plenty of other guys that have made up the difference. JP at 295, Polo at 356, right? Demo at 274, just coming back. Obviously, he was hovering around 280 to 300. And then obviously Leo Rivas over 300. And hopefully we get Leo to pinch hit in this matchup, because that could be the difference. Let's go, Julio. Justin Sterner coming in. First pitch, low and away. This might be the most patient game that I've seen Julio in the box. I mean, besides that, first pitch, moonshot swing where he actually connected and went yard. But again, some of these at bats, he hasn't been overly, aggressive, off balance swings in the first two pitches. Pitch fouled off with a cutter, 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners at first and second with 1 out. We're in the top of the 7th. Julio's at 216. He's got 6 homers, 17 ribbies, which ain't bad, but it's just about getting hits in consecutive games instead of just kind of doing nothing for 4 or 5 games and then finally exploding. But we'll take what we can get out of Julio. And Julio hit by pitch. Here we go. We'll take that. As long as Julio doesn't get hurt, we'll take that. Nice job, J-Rod. Now we got bases loaded for a guy that has been cold since the Detroit Tigers series against Scooball. Could you be the guy that ends up going with the mustard and rye bread and we go grand salami? Or at least an RBI here to give us a 3-2 or 4-2 lead? DHing today for Cal, Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. First pitch, strike looking. On the line with the cutter. 0-1 count. Turner on the mound, Randy Arozarena in the box. Let's go, baby. Pitch is outside. Randy swinging at garbage. What is that? It's like 5 feet off the plate, Randy. And obviously Randy is pressing, and anytime you get a guy that's pressing that knows that they haven't been good in a long time, and there you go. Maybe the one guy that's doing worse than Julio, as far as one of our stars, Randy Arozarena, nothing. 2 away. All right, next up, catcher Mitch Garver, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. Maybe Mitch can end up getting us an RBI single here. I mean, again. He doesn't hit home runs that often, but it would be great. Mustard and rye bread, grand salami. But, I mean, at this point, we'll take anything, but don't expect anything. And Garver with nothing. Damn it. Bases loaded with nothing. All right, we're going to the bottom of the 7th inning. And we better pray that we can find a win this game because we've had a few missed opportunities here. And maybe we should have had a couple guys pinch hit. Maybe had Cal Raleigh come in and pinch hit for Garver, and maybe had Leo Rivas pinch hit for Randy Arozarena. Maybe that would have been the difference there. And I'm not sure if we're going to see Leo or Cal, but maybe that was the opportunity. All right. We got 2 more innings to go to not fuck this up. Let's see who's up next. Next up, 1 for 2, catcher Shea Langolier. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, center fielder J.J. Bleday. And batting third, the hero from last night, shortstop 0 for 2, Jacob Wilson. Come on, Mariners. We got to find a way to win after what happened yesterday, especially with Wu on the mound tomorrow. Let's go. Yeah, and we're gonna got Matt Brash coming into the matchup, but we're gonna have Cal, catching for Wu tomorrow. So, and again, some guys are gonna need a day off. It's like Julio will play like 15 to 20 games in a row. Same thing with Cal. Typically, before they have a day off, unless they end up rotating Garv, in there. So it may not be that many consecutive days for Cal, but you're definitely gonna want to have some guys, have a rest. But again, even if it's just getting one at bat, that could be the difference, with those kind of decisions, by letting a guy like Rivas and Cal hit once or twice, that could end up being the difference if we win this game or not. But I would, if Cal is resting, fine, but we should definitely be having Rivas pinch hit for somebody before this game is over, and that could be the difference. All right, let's go, Brash. 2 balls and 1 strike from Brash to Langoliers. Let's go, Matt. In play on the 4-seam fastball and grounded out to second, throw to first, got him, 1 away. Nice job, Matt. Great to see Brash back. Next up will be Kirby and Gilbert. Next up is JJ Blade. Brash on the bump, Blade in the box. First pitch low and at the knees, 1-0 count from Brash to Blade. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Let's try to get to 30 to 40 before this stream is up. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging on a knuckle curve, back to back knuckle curves. Brash just opening it up. He said, I'm a knuckle curve ya, knuckle curve ya, knuckle curve ya. 3 pitches in a row, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Brash to Blade. In play and grounded out to first, 2 away. Didn't think I would see Brash with 4 knuckle curves in a row, but it worked. Next up, shortstop, Jacob Wilson. Brash looked good, obviously in his first game back, and now in his second game back, even better. First pitch, high and inside, at the head with the knuckle curve, 1-0 count. Let's go, Brash. Well, I think they just wanted to try to get Demo in the lineup, so they had to reconfigure the lineup a little bit, but I don't think they're going to have Polo normally playing second base. I think it was just kind of a one-off thing for today. In play, and Wilson reached on an infield single to second. Bottom of the 7th, we're knotted up at 2. Wilson with that single. And let's see if Brash can get us out of this inning. Nice hit by Jacob Wilson, and he was the hero in last night's game where we walked a couple guys, Shea Langoliers and Blade, to get to Wilson, which was a mistake. Next up, first baseman 0 for 1 with a run and a base on ball, Nick Kurtz. Yeah, we need it. We need to be able to try to win our 9th consecutive series, We should have a good chance of winning this, in regulation or extras if it comes down to it. Pitches low and in the zone, but called ball, should have been strike. So everything has been a knuckle curve except for a slider for that first pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first with 2 outs. We need to force out at second. Knuckle curve, 2 feet off the plate. 3 balls and 1 strike from Brash to Kurtz. Come on, Matt. Go, Brash. Get out of this inning, baby. Bottom of the 7th, runner at first, knotted up at 2. 3-1 count with 2 outs. Brash on the mound, Kurtz in the box. A lot of knuckle curves here from Brash. And a slider, and that's a walk. Come on, Matt. Next up, the former Mariner, 0 for 2, second baseman Luis Urias. Got to get him out here. We don't want to lose the game right here. Yeah, when we got Demo or Rivas at second, it's better than having Polo. Polo's a liability at second. First pitch, high and away from Brash to Urias, forcing fastball this time around with no count. Now you're getting a mound visit from Woodworth and Garber. Maybe just hanging on to that knuckle curve a little bit too heavy, but they got Gabe Spire and Edward Pizzardo in the pen warming up. In play, and Urias hit by a pitch. Holy hell, Brash. Golly. I mean, are we going to lose the game right here because of Brash? Fuck. And normally this is a guy that we really have been anticipated, and he's coming back from Tommy John. And, you knew that there was going to be probably a few shaky, opportunities from him in his first 5 outings. But he was pretty good on his season debut a few games ago, but man, looking fucking terrible here as he almost takes off that player's head. What the fuck are you doing, Matt? And that definitely wasn't intentional, but I'm glad that Luis put his head down. Otherwise, he would have got cracked in the jaw there. But that could have been much, much worse. Hope he's okay. We're not a dirty team. But not what you want to see now with bases loaded and 2 outs. You might just have to say, see ya, man, you fucked us. And you're going to have to will we bring in Gabe Spire? Yeah, Gabe is coming out. All right, Brash. Well, you had one good outing and one horrible outing. So you look good in your first, game back, Tommy John, but today, not good. And hopefully you'll get better, because we can't afford that, especially when the game is tied 2-2. We don't want to not be able to believe in you. But again, coming off Tommy John is not going to be easy for anybody. All right. Lawrence Butler in the box with bases loaded. We need to get out of this inning unscathed if we have a chance on winning. Because even if we give up 1, that might be enough for them to win 3-2 if the bats don't come alive in the 8th and the 9th. But hopefully Gabe can shut it down, who's been really, really hot in the first 5 or 6 outings, but within the last few, he's given up a home run and a few hits and an RBI. Hopefully Gabe will be able to clean up some of those mistakes, and we can get out of this inning unscathed. Hopefully we can get ahead in the count 0-2 on Butler. Butler 0 for 3 today. Gabe Spire. Let's get it done, baby. Come on, Gabe. Bottom of the 7th, bases loaded. We're knotted up at 2. First pitch, low and away with a slider, strike swinging. Great start. 0-1 count from Gabe to Lawrence. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 40 likes before the game ends, and we can hit 40. Maybe we can get closer to 50. But let's go for 40. And then we're at, 13. 87 to go on the Dono train. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking with a sinker right down the pipe. Now ahead of the count 0-2. Like I said, one more pitch and we're out of this inning. And there it is, baby. That's what I'm talking about. You bring in Gabe. 1, 2, 3. At least we know someone we can rely on. Nice job, Gabe Spire. Mowing it down. Bases loaded, stranded. But again, we had bases loaded and we stranded our guys as well. So definitely missed opportunities for the Mariners and the Athletics in this game. Could go either way. We need this dub. We got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow, and we already lost 7-6 and 11 yesterday. It's got to be our day today. Who's going to step up and get the dub for the Mariners? Next up, 0 for 3 with a K, right fielder Dylan Moore. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K, Donovan Solano. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a run and a K, third baseman Ben Williamson. We got to get Leo Rivas a chance in the 8th or the 9th. Let's go, baby. Nice job, Gabe.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we're at 32. Eight more to go to hit 40. Let's go, baby. First pitch from Sterner to Demo, low and away, four-seam fastball, 1-0 count. Let's go, Demo. First game back for Dylan Moore. He's our utility guy that can pretty much be our Kike Hernandez, play pretty much every position besides first base and catcher. We're in the top of the 8th, knotted up at 2. Got to find a way to win. In play on the 1-0 pitch, and there it is. There's the single that I've been waiting for. Nice job, Demo. Way to be. And now we got Rowdy Tellez coming in for Donovan Solano. Good decision. I agree with Dan Wilson. Let's go. Nice job by Demo. Now we need Rowdy Tellez to get it done. Top of the 8th, no outs, knotted up at 2. Next up, Rowdy Tellez. Come on, Rowdy. Good decision on having him pinch it for Solano. Need that Soto mojo. Let's go, baby. Come on, Rowdy. First pitch, right down the middle with a cutter, fouled off from Sterner to Tellez. 0-1 count. And Rowdy's been able to get some pretty clutch hits, RBIs, and homers since that Toronto series. And we do have the Blue Jays, obviously on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we play the Yankees. So both of those series are going to be in Seattle. And they're very, very important, based on the trajectory on where we're trying to go. And we got to find a way to win here tonight. Brian Wu on the bump tomorrow, which we have the utmost confidence in since he's our one as far as, pitchers now with no access to Logan Gilbert and George Kirby because they're injured. 4-1 record for Wu, and hopefully it'll be 5-1. Last time we saw Wu, it was on my birthday, and he had a one-hitter. Pitch, 20 feet off the plate, four-seam fastball from Sterner to Tellez, 1 ball and 1 strike here in the top of the 8th with a runner at first. Come on, Rowdy. Pitch again, 20 feet off the plate, 2 balls and 1 strike from Sterner to Tellez. Come on, baby. Let's find a way. Griffey loves it. Let's go. Takes a strike looking right outside of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sterner to Tellez. Top of the 8th with 1 out. 2-2 pitch and got him. Down goes Rowdy. Striking out, swinging. 1 away. Next up, third baseman Ben Williamson. 1 for 3 with a run and a K. Let's go, Ben. First pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 0-1 count. Come on, Ben. Oh, 1 pitch, 5 feet off the plate, low and away. Good eye by Big Ben. 1 ball and 1 strike. From Sterner to Big Ben Williamson. Top of the 8th, we're knotted up at 2. Runner at first with 1 out. Got to get a runner in scoring position here. Takes a strike looking right down the pipe with the cutter, 87 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out from Sterner to Williamson. Come on, Big Ben. I mean, we'll take a 3-2 win if that's what we need. Anything to be able to get the victory here. And that's a strike swinging. Damn it. 2 away. Sterner coming in and shutting us down. Next up, 2 for 3 with an RBI and a K. Miles Mastrobuoni. Could you be the hero that we need here today? Come on, Miles. You're in the 9 hole. You're typically not there. You're 2 for 3 today. You're having a good day. Julio's having a good day. See if we can get it done. First pitch, takes a strike looking with a 4-seam fastball. 0-1 count. And we wouldn't expect Mastrobuoni to homer, but even just getting on base with a single and having runners at first and second with 2 outs, and then maybe JP could be the guy. But got to find a way to be able to get at least a couple more hits if we want to be able to get this to 3-2. Sterner on the mound, Mastrobuoni in the box. Top of the 8th, great game, pitching duel, 2-2 matchup. But again, both teams have left bases loaded and not cashed in. And again, you can only do that so many times before it comes back to bite you. 0-1 pitch, 5 feet high and away off the plate with a 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour from Sterner. 1 ball and 1 strike to Miles Mastrobuoni. Come on, Mastrobuoni. Well, they have 2 Nintendo patches that they use, like one for the Switch, and then obviously, with that one was Switch 2, and then they have the other standard like Nintendo one, I believe. And Demo steals second. There we go. Nice job by Demo getting in there with a runner in scoring position. That's exactly what we needed. They're just trying to challenge every fucking thing that we do. We haven't really been stealing bags to the pace that we were a couple weeks ago, where it felt like we were stealing 3 or 4 bags a fucking game. But we haven't been able to get too many guys on for that position to kind of do that. And we haven't been bunting either, and that's kind of hand in hand. The more you bunt, the more chances that you're going to have guys on base. And the more guys on base, the more opportunities for stolen bags to be able to get a runner in scoring position. He's safe. What are we looking at here? He didn't get tagged in the butt cheek. And Mastrobuoni lined out to left. Oh, man. And we leave another runner stranded. We got to go here to the bottom of the 8th inning. Let's see who's up next for the Athletics. I mean, if got to get Leo Rivas an opportunity. Got to. If we get him in the game, I think we have a chance. But if we don't get him in the game, it could be tough. Let's see who's up next here for the Athletics. Next up, 1 for 2 with a run, RBI, and a base on the ball. DHing Brent Rooker. Batting second, left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. And batting third baseman, 1 for 3, Miguel Andujar. And I'm not sure if they're going to have Gabe Spire go back out since he only pitched 3 pitches for 3 strikes and got out of the inning, but we will find out here shortly. It would kind of make sense to have Gabe come out again, but they typically, don't have Gabe pitch more than 1 inning. So, again, it's not like he's tired. He only threw 3 pitches, and we need to be able to get out of this inning if we have a chance in the 9th or an extra. Come on, baby. Got to find a way. I figured we would end up having at least another homer. Typically when the Mariners homer once, it leads to at least 1 or 2 more, sometimes even 3 more. I know the game's not over yet. I'm not sure if it'll end with a homer, but all right, Gabe Spire is out there again. Good decision to have him out. First pitch, fouled off with the slider right down the pipe to Rooker. 0-1 count. Come on, Gabe. Rooker in the box. Gabe Spire on the bump. Let's go. Bring that electricity, baby, just like you did in the 7th. Yeah, I mean, I would love for the game to be over in 2 hours and 30 minutes rather than, 3 hours and 45 minutes or 4 hours in play. And that's a Rooker double. Not good, Gabe. Runner at second with no outs. We don't want to let this slip through our fingers, because, again, this team is good enough to win 2 out of 3. And we got Wu on the mound tomorrow, so I know we're not going to get swept. But, if we have any chance of winning our 9th consecutive series, we have to get out of this inning. Next up, left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. And we haven't really been able to put ourselves in position to get a double play because it seems like every time they get a guy on first, he ends up stealing a bag and getting a second, or he gets a double like Rooker did. Yeah, this is this feels so evenly matched, just like when we played the Tigers and the Giants and we kind of got beat up. We want to be able to face the good teams, and the A's are a good team, just like the Tigers and the Giants, and that's why we started off the year like 3-7. And same thing goes for the Cubs when we play them. It won't be easy. In play, and Soderstrom single to left, Rooker to third. Runners now at first and third, and our bullpen not looking good. Brash fucking up, Spire fucking up, and we might have just lost the game. Next up is Miguel Andujar. We're going to need we're going to have to find a double play here and keep the runner stranded at third. Oh, fucking A, man. And again, 2 evenly matched teams, just like when we played the Tigers and the Giants, and it's not going to get any easier. We got the Blue Jays and the Yankees next. And I know we can beat the Blue Jays 2 out of 3, but the same thing might happen when we play the Yankees, where we might only win 1 out of 3. Fucking A, Gabe. Brash fucks up. Gabe fucks up. And now Colin Snyder, he's got to be the guy. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we have faith in Colin Snyder, but I don't know. Hopefully it works out. Come on, Mariners. All right, first pitch from Snyder to Endor with a cutter. It should have been called a strike, but called ball. The hell is this guy looking at? This ump is terrible. Come on, help calling out. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging. Should be 0-2 count, now 1-1. Can't believe they didn't give us that call, but we haven't really been getting a lot of calls in this series. Jordan in the building, what's good, man? How are the Reds doing lately since we played you guys in that series? Fucking A, in play, and Colin Snyder just fucks it all up, and our singles, and now we're down 3-2. We might have just lost the game there. Fucking A, man. Shows you how important pitching is, and Emerson Hancock did a great job, but then it was the guys in the pen that fucked it up. Brash and Gabe Spire, and normally those guys are trustworthy, but you also have to give credit. The A's are a good team this year. It's not going to be easy playing this team, and I knew that we might only win 1 out of 3. Now you got runners at first and second with no outs. We're down by a run. Next up, 1 for 3, Shea Langoliers. And we're going to need a little bit of that Soto Mojo magic. Otherwise, we're going to end up losing 3-2, 4-2, or 5-2. And bullpen has been not good lately for the Mariners. And it's in our starting pitching is banged up. You know, we have no Gilbert, no Kirby. You know, Logan Evans isn't doing well. Bryce Miller isn't doing well. Hancock has been doing better. And again, we trust Castillo and Wu, but you know, the bats normally are giving us 6 to 10 runs, and lately in these last couple games, you know, we did get to 6 yesterday, but you know, Athletics ended up getting that game-winning run and getting to 7. Low-scoring affair here today, and it's going to take a miracle for us to win this one. Snyder, first pitch, fouled off. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the pipe behind the count, now 0-2 from Snyder to Langoliers. 0-2 pitch, high and inside, fouled off. Count still remains 0-2. Runners at first and second with no outs, and the Athletics just took the lead 3-2 against the Mariners. Don't be surprised if you see these two teams in the playoffs. Athletics are playing much better than the Stros, the Rangers, or the Angels, and they're right there with the Mariners. And again, you know, we've been extremely hot, but it was just a matter of time before we played someone on our level. And here they are. Langoliers light out to center. Soderstrom to third. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Next up is center fielder J.J. Bleday. And I feel terrible, you know, and again, it's like the games that Julio plays well, I don't know why it happens, but it seems like we always lose. Like when everyone else is struggling, but Julio has like that great day where he has 2 hits or a home run and a couple hits. You know, why do we lose when Julio finally plays well? You know, there's going to be games where Julio, you know, when we have a big lead and he adds on to the lead, but when it's like a game where we really need someone to step up, Julio ends up being that guy, you know, solo jack early on to give us the 1-0 lead. But where is everyone else? You know, not enough production from the others to help us win this game. And it just seems like that's kind of a trend where Julio plays great, but then we lose. And it's not over yet, but unless we have a miracle on the 9th, it may end up being that same type of thing. First pitch, fouled off. 0-1 count from Snyder to J.J. Bleday. 0 for 3 with a K. 0-1 pitch, fouled off 10, outside of the line. 0-2 pitch, got him, finally, 2 away. Next up, shortstop, Jacob Wilson. And obviously, if the Mariners have any chance, we have to keep it on a 1-run lead. No guarantees that we can even get 1 in the 9th. And 1 for 3. Runners on the corners. 3-2 Athletics lead here in the bottom of the 8th. And we walked 2 individuals last night to get to Jacob Wilson, and he made us pay. First pitch, sweeper, outside of the zone. 1-0 count from Snyder to Wilson. But the bullpen definitely fucked it up for us in this game. We weren't expecting Brash and Gabe Spire, usually 2 of our strongest, to be our weak links. But you know, Hancock pitched great today. And might end up getting the
L here after a good performance from him. Four likes to 40. Let's get there. 1-0 pitch. Fouled off with a cutter inside. Tried to jam him. 1 ball and 1 strike from Snyder to Jacob Wilson. Bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Athletics. Solid team. Knew they were going to be good this year. And again, they're proving all the doubters wrong and the naysayers. But again, I watched them in spring training. Saw some of the things that I liked and, figured that they would be great this year. They are, which may be a surprise to some. And same thing with the Red Sox. Sometimes you just know. Pitch fouled off. High and tight inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners on the corners with 2 outs. 3-2 lead by the Athletics. 1-2 pitch. Sweeper, 5 feet off the plate, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Snyder to Wilson. Come on, Mariners. Pitches outside with the sweeper. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Snyder to Wilson. And again, if Jacob connects or if he ends up getting walked, we might end up losing this game 5-2, 6-2, 7-2. And that's a stolen bag. Now runners at second and third. And there it is. There's the walk. Now we got bases loaded with 2 outs. And again, this could turn into 4-2, 5-2, 6-2 in a heartbeat. God, our bullpen is just fucking it up for us here, huh? I was really hoping that we could win 2 out of 3 against this team. A sweep would have been impossible. But, based on how it's looking, hopefully Wu will bring it tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to get fucking swept. And next up, first baseman Nick Kurtz, unless they have someone pinch hit for him. And 0 for 1 with a run and 2 base on balls. Bottom of the 8th, bases loaded with 2 outs. We're down a run, and we can't let them score anymore. If they do, it's over. It might already be over right now. We'll see what kind of mentality the hitters have when they step up to the box here. If they're just thinking about what's for dinner or if they're actually trying to win this game. First pitch, cutter fouled off. 0-1 count from Snyder to Kurtz. Oh-1 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. High and away with the cutter, behind in the count 0-2. Come on, Snyder. We need a punch out here. Or just a little easy pop-up. Got to get out of this inning. Bottom of the 8th, bases loaded. 3-2 A's. 0-2 pitch, four-seam fastball, high and away. 91 miles an hour from Colin Snyder. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nick Kurtz. 1-2 pitch with the cutter inside, tried to jam him. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs with bases loaded. Come on, Snyder. Two-two pitch, fouled off with the cutter in the zone. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with bases loaded, and the Athletics with a 3-2 lead. Unfortunate that Brash and Spire, put us in this position, but, it happens. And we get out of the inning unscathed, almost. gave up the lead, but again, it could have been 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, and then we would have had no chance. So we only need a run to tie, 2 to win. And again, I'm not sure if we have the ability to get 2 runs, but you never know. Even just getting 1 and going, I don't really want to go in back-to-back games and extras. Since yesterday's game almost went 4 hours fucking long, I still need to go walk my pup and eat dinner and whatnot. But hopefully we can find a way to dig this one out. But we have the best chance with the lineup that we have. It doesn't look like we're going to get Leo Ribas to pinch hit unless we get past the first 3 batters. But leading off, 1 for 3 with a base on ball, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a base on ball. We need you, Jorge Polanco. And batting third, probably the player that has played the best up to this point, 2 for 3 with a run and an RBI. Normally when Julio plays great, we lose if no one else steps up, but he has been good today. Can you go 3 for 4? We may need you to, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Something's got to give. Let's go, baby. Last ditch opportunity here. Let's go. An unexpected home run would be great. But at this point, we'll take anything. Hit by a pitch, walk, just a little bloop single, whatever. And they're bringing in Ferguson, not Mason Miller. So, again, that gives us, I guess a better chance. But Ferguson's got a .52 ERA. He's not even at 1, so we'll see how this goes. Natman in the building. What's good? I appreciate that. JP in the box. Polo on deck. Julio after him. So that's exactly what you would want based on our lineup. Besides maybe having Dylan Moore or Leo Ribas get a chance to hit this inning. First pitch from Ferguson to JP in the zone. Strike swinging with a 4-seam fastball. 0-1 count. Top of the 9th. A's with a 3-2 lead. And again, we haven't done anything since the second inning. 1 run in the first, 1 run in the second, and absolutely nothing for 5 innings after that. And hopefully that'll change here in the 9th. Tyler Ferguson on the mound. JP Crawford in the box. Come on, JP. Who wants to be a hero today? Is it you? Let's go. Bring that electricity, baby. Last chance. We want to try to win 9 straight series in a row. 0-1 pitch. Cutter inside at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ferguson to JP Crawford. Let's go, baby. Pitch fouled off with the cutter. 1 ball and 2 strikes with no outs from Ferguson on the mound. JP in the box. A's up 3-2 here in the top of the 9th. Pitch is outside. Good eye with the sweeper. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ferguson to JP. Come on, JP. Dig deep, baby. Let's go. Find a way. And again, we haven't been bunting, and again, more bunts lead to more opportunities. We need to get back to doing, more bunting. Obviously, Polo tried to bunt, but he popped it up. And Crawford struck out swinging. 1 away. Not the ideal start. All right, down goes JP. We're down to our last 2 outs. Next up, 0 for 3 with a base on ball. Second baseman, Jorge Polanco, who's had to hit from the right-hand side. Now he finally gets to go to the left-hand side, and maybe this will be the electric at-bat that we need. Come on, Polo. I wouldn't be mad right now with a solo dinger. First pitch, low and away with a changeup, 86 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Get on with a walk, get on with a single, get on with a hit by pitch as long as you don't get hurt. Whatever way we got to do it. 1-0 pitch, cutter outside, high and away, 2-0 count. This looks like it could lead to a walk. Let's go, baby. Ferguson losing a little control. Come on, Polo. Pitch inside at the knees. 3-0 count from Ferguson to Polo. Let's go, baby. This will lead to a walk. And then after that, maybe Julio could be the hero. Not saying that Julio is going to go for a 2-run jack and we win 4-3, but how sweet would that be? If he ends up having the game that it's pretty much on his shoulders and he single-handedly wins it for us. Just like when we had Polo have 2 home runs and 5 RBIs, and he single-handedly won us a game a few games back as well. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking. That's way off the plate. What is this ump looking at? That's like 2 feet off the plate. That should be a walk. This ump is terrible. He's been giving all the calls to the Athletics, and then next pitch, finally, we get the walk. But it should have already been a walk with 4 pitches. This ump gets an F. All right, Polo using obviously his eyes. Ump obviously needs LASIK. We get a walk, Polo to first. And next up, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, baby. You can be the hero, and you don't even need a home run to do it. Okay? We appreciate that you got a single. We appreciate that you were overly aggressive and got the solo jack to give us the 1-0 lead. Typically, when Julio has a great game, we lose for whatever reason. Could it be this the game where he actually plays great and we win? Top of the 9th, Polo at first, 1 out. Ferguson on the mound. First pitch to Julio. Cutter fouled off, going for that moonshot swing. 0-1 count. Come on, Julio. Come on, baby. Trident's up. Anna in the building. What's good? In play. And Julio with a single. Woo! Let's go. Nice job, J-Rod. Runners at first and second with 1 out. And we have life, baby. Next up, a guy that has been struggling, but maybe he could be the hero right here. Hasn't been good since that Tiger series against Skubal. 0 for 3 with a base on ball and a K. You are overdue, Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Dig deep. This would be a great springboard win if we can get it. Giving us confidence with Woo up on the bump tomorrow, especially on the way that this game has gone. In play. Randy, and hit by a pitch. Woo! Here we go. Bases loaded with 1 out, and here it is. Catcher Mitch Garver. Here we go. And again, there's been plenty of times where we've had bases loaded, no outs, and got nothing. We've had bases loaded, 1 out, got nothing. We've had bases loaded, 2 outs, and gotten nothing this season. But could be this we don't even need a grand salami. Obviously if we get that, we won for sure. To make it 6-3, but even an RBI single here to tie it up would be good enough for us. Hell, we'll even take a walk, right, where we get a freebie coming in from third base. But right now, pitching is very shaky, and again, we already saw it be shaky with not only Matt Brash, but with Gabe Spire, and now we're getting a little bit of that medicine on the other side, and I love it. Top of the 9th, bases loaded, 1 out, 3-2 Athletics. We're about to tie the game. Let's go. Oh, and they're going to have Cal Raleigh pinch hit. Good decision. Here we go. Here we go, baby. And we know what happens when Cal Raleigh has bases loaded, baby. Trident's up. Let's go. Cal Raleigh, we're looking for home run number 13. We know Aaron Judge, is starting to, try to take the lead on him. Let's go, baby. Top of the 9th, bases loaded with 1 out. And we got Rivas running for Arozarena. Good choice there. Well, I like that move by Dan Wilson as well. And we got Big Dumper hitting for Garv. And I think that's a good decision. And Garv is one of those guys that has actually stepped up for us, when he pinch hits for Polo once in a while. First pitch, inside. 1-0 count. We might get a freebie here. Cal won't swing. I like it. 1-0 pitch, 5 feet off the plate. Ferguson has no fucking range. 2-0 count. Here we go. We don't even need a swing. We're going to be able to get a freebie and tie this game up without even swinging with Cal. Let's go. Top of the 9th, bases loaded, 1 out, 2-0 count. Be smart here, Cal. He does not have the range to hit the strike zone. Here we go. 5 feet off the plate, 3-0 count. Let's bring that freebie home, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Good take, Cal. Strike looking on the line. Probably should have been a ball, but called strike. 3 balls and 1 strike from Ferguson to Cal. Come on, Cal. You don't even need to swing. Come on, Mariners. Tridents up. Top of the ninth, bases loaded, 1 out. We actually have a little bit of life, even though it didn't look like we were going to. It shows you how important pitching really is, not just starting pitching, but bullpen pitching. Bullpen pitching can help you win a game when you shouldn't, and it can really let a game go very easily as well. Top of the ninth, bases loaded, 3-2 A's. Ferguson on the mound, big dumper in the box. Pinch hitting for Mitch Garver with a 3-1 count with 1 out. Come on, Cal. In play. Yes! Woo-hoo! Let's fucking go! That's what I'm talking about. Cal Raleigh singles to right. Polo scores. Julio scores. Rivas to third. 4-3 Mariners. Woo! Let's go! Let's fucking go! Woo! Woo! Let's go, baby. It ain't over till it's over, baby. Great decision by Dan Wilson, and we got a guy up that we know that can produce. Next up, first game back for being gone from a couple weeks. 1 for 4 with the K. Right fielder, Dylan Moore. This game feels like that Astro game when we were down 5-0 and had to come back and win. This could be that springboard win to lead us for Brian Wu tomorrow, and then we have a day off. Blue Jays at home at T-Mobile for 3, Yankees at home for 3, and we're going to really need that good mojo when we go against the Blue Jays and Yankees after this series, and we got Wu on the mound tomorrow. We're winning now, baby. Top of the ninth, runners on the corners with 1 out, and we got a 1-1 count from Ferguson to Demo. Now, if they would have went with Mason Miller, we probably would have lost. So that single decision alone helped us out with Ferguson. Let's go. Hell yeah, baby. Reflect with a 3-er. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Pitch fouled off with the sweeper at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Ferguson to Demo. Mariners retake the lead 4-3 in the ninth. My boy, Luis Fernando. Hello, this is Luis calling on behalf of Verizon Fios. We met at the Seattle Mariners game last week. Does that ring a bell? I did not receive any jersey in the mail, so I assume that you've been extremely busy and haven't got a chance to send that Levante David out. But I appreciate you very, very much and coming through and showing some love. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack bang bang. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. $20 holla. Sinker fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Ferguson to Demo. Appreciate you, Louise. Appreciate you, Reflect. Never count out the Mariners, no matter how bleak things look, And again, we got off to a fast start, with Julio with that solo jack. But then after the second inning, we had nothing for 5 innings. And then finally we decided to wake up, here in the ninth. But hey, better late than never. Let's go, baby. Top of the ninth. Runners on the corners. We were down 3-2. Got 2 runs here in the fourth to take the lead 4-3. We need this dub, baby. And Demo in play, popped out, and we have a tag up. And yes, we bring another one home. Demo with a sac fly to right. Rivas, obviously pinch running, for someone that obviously is quite a bit slower. Good decision there, and now we get that extra run to definitely win the game. 5-3 Mariners. Nice job. Here we go. Next up, Rowdy Tellez. And maybe we'll be able to get even 1 more run. And again, that's the decision you make by going with, that particular pitcher over Mason Miller. And if you would have went Mason Miller, who's kind of like their Andres Munoz, maybe we don't get this lead. But I'm really happy that they decided to go where they went because we didn't really have good results with Brash or Gabe Spire. And finally, the bats come alive in the ninth since we waited since the second inning to really produce anything. Nice job, Mariners. Tridents up, baby. Let's go. Let me know what you want to do for photos, Louise, and Reflect. If you want anything, I got you. Okay, yeah, I figured, like I said, I was checking in front of my house, but I figured the next time that I talk to you, I figured you've been, I've seen some of your snaps and Instagram and Facebook and whatnot that you've been going to some soccer games and blessing some other people, with some shoes and some merch and whatnot. So Keep doing your thing, my guy, and I appreciate you. Top of the ninth, 5-3 Mariners. Runner at first with 2 outs. And what a great comeback here for Seattle. Because, I mean, we were left dead in the water. You know, Emerson Hancock actually had a good game. You know, the game was 2-2 for the longest time. Then when they took that lead, when our bullpen kind of shit the bed with Brash and Gabe Spire, when you go down 3-2 and you're, you know, at the end of the matchup, especially when you got beat up in a very close game the night before, it'd be very easy to be like, fuck it, let's just go into tomorrow and see what Brian Wu can do. But again, we're trying to win our 9th consecutive series, and you know, that's not something that we've done since 2001, where we won 15 straight. And again, that ended up propelling us to 116 wins. So I'm not saying that we're going to win 116 this year, but this is best, especially the best team that we've had since 2001. So it's been 24 years since we've been able to manufacture a team that can hit like this. Now Harris comes in with a runner at first. First pitch to Rowdy Tellez, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch from Harris to Rowdy Tellez, strike swinging out of the zone, behind in the count, 0-2. Come on, Rowdy. See if we can get one more before this inning ends. Top of the ninth, runner at first. Harris on the mound, Tellez in the box. 0-2 count. One more strike and they're out of this inning, but one more swing and we could end up having a 6-3 or 7-3 lead. Let's go. Pitches low and away with the sweeper from Harris. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rowdy Tellez. Come on, Rowdy. What a comeback by the Mariners, baby. And Tellez strikes out swinging. All right, well, the damage is done. We couldn't get anything on top of that, but getting that extra insurance with Leo Rivas tagging up with that demo, that was huge. And if you're just tuning in, a quick recap of this particular matchup I'll give you. So in the top of the first pitch to Julio, he goes yard, 407 feet to center field, 1-0 Mariners. So that gave us the momentum that we needed. Bottom of the first, Andujar single to right. Rooker scored 1-1, A's and Mariners. Top of the second, Mastroboni doubled to left in the 9-hole. Williamson scores. Then it was 2-1 Seattle. Bottom of the third, Rooker single to center. Kurt scored 2-2, A's and Mariners. And then we went 5 innings with nothing. And then Andujar single to center. Rooker scored 3-2 A's. And then just here in the top of the ninth, Cal Raleigh pinch hitting for Mitch Garver. Great decision. He singles to right with bases loaded. Polo scores. Julio scores. Rivas to third. 4-3 Mariners. And then Demo with a sac fly. Rivas scoring from third to give us the 5-3 lead. And again, it feels like this is a springboard win, like when we were down 5-0 to the Stros and we scored 7 runs in the 8th and the 9th to win 7-6. It definitely feels like that, even though that we weren't down 5-0. Let's see who's up next here for the Athletics and their last chance to tie it up. Next up for the Athletics, the former Seattle Mariner, 0-2, second baseman Luis Urias. Batting second, right fielder, 0-4 with a K, Lawrence Butler. And batting third, DHing Brent Rooker. Let's go Mariners. And they're bringing out Vargas instead of Andres Munoz. Hopefully that's not a mistake. You know, they don't go with Mason Miller. We make them pay. Now we're not going with Andres Munoz. I hope they don't make us pay. Fingers crossed. Carlos Vargas. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Carlos. Finish strong, baby. Let's go. First pitch in the zone with a sinker. Should have been strike, called ball. What is this ump looking at? Are they trying to let the Athletics win? 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a lot of these pitches are like in the zone, not borderline on the line. Like I think I've seen at least 6 or 7 bad calls from this ump, all favoring the Athletics. Unbelievable. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging inside, tries to jam the hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 9th. Mariners reclaiming the lead in the top of the 9th, 5-3. And Urias strikes out swinging. There we go. One away. Nice job by Vargas, especially when we don't have Munoz in the game. Down goes Luis. Next up, right fielder, Lawrence Butler. Let's see if we can end up having him go 0 for 5, which doesn't happen often. But if Butler goes 0 for 5, he'll probably end up getting a hit tomorrow on Wu. Hopefully it's not like one of those career games. But, Wu looking for his 5th win. He's 4-1. Last time he pitched on my birthday, 1 hitter. And, again, we're looking forward to seeing what we can get tomorrow with Wu. I'll be live at 12:30 Pacific tomorrow for the last match between the Athletics and the Mariners. 2-0 count from Vargas to Butler. 2-0 pitch, sinker, low and away with a strike looking. 2 balls and 1 strike from Vargas to Butler. Come on, Mariners. Butler in the box, Carlos Vargas on the mound. And hopefully that's not a mistake by not bringing Andres Munoz in, but so far, so good. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging. Good pitch there with that sinker at 95 miles an hour in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Vargas to Butler. Smoke his ass. Let's go. I think we believe in Wu and we believe in even Castillo. We didn't think that he would be that good this year, but, obviously Gilbert and Kirby are injured and Miller hasn't been good. So, we got to have at least 3 guys that are good. Wu, Castillo, Hancock. And then obviously with, Logan Evans and Bryce Miller, we're waiting. And hopefully they'll get better. And Miller's dealing with a back issue. So 4-seam fastball and the 2-2 pitch fouled off. Count remains still 2-2. 2-2 pitch, high and away, a foot off the plate with that slider. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Vargas to Butler. Come on now. And got him, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That pitch was maybe a makeup call, a foot off the plate. Should have been a ball, but called strike 3. And again, that's a makeup call for like the 7 or 8 bullshit calls that we've had earlier in the game. Next up, DHing Brent Rooker. They're down to their last out. But there's no doubt about it. That last pitch should have been ball, and they should have had a walk to Lawrence Butler. But again, we've had quite a few balls called strike and strike called balls. So, at some point, you're going to have to give us a makeup call. And if they've had 8 go in their favor, we finally get 1 in the bottom of the 9th. Better late than never. First pitch, fouled off with the sinker, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away with the slider. 1 ball and 1 strike from Vargas to Rooker. Let's go, Vargas. So far, so good. He's pitching like a Munoz would, and hopefully he can shut it down here. This is a big springboard win for us. And again, if we win here today, which it looks like we have a very good chance, we got Wu on the mound tomorrow. Takes a strike looking right down the pipe. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Vargas to Rooker. 1 more strike and this game is over. Let's go. And again, sometimes momentum, needs to start in situations that are really tough for a ball club. When you're getting your ass kicked or they take a lead late and you feel like you got your heart ripped out, you got to still stay focused to find a way. In play on a 1-2 pitch and Rooker, with the single to right. Nice job by Brent. He is an absolute stud for the Athletics. Next up, 2 for 4 with a K, Tyler Soderstrom. Come on, Tyler. Don't get any ideas here. They decided not to go with Mason Miller. We made him pay. We didn't go with Andres Munoz. Hopefully the same result doesn't happen. First pitch, inside, tried to jam the hitter with the changeup. 1-0 count from Vargas to Soderstrom. Come on, Mariners. Come on, baby. We need this dub, man. Trident's up. Bottom of the 9th, 5-3 Mariners. Vargas on the mound, Soderstrom in the box. Come on, baby. Let's try to win this and then win tomorrow and we win the series. Then we have a day off. Then we got 3 games at home at T-Mobile. In play. And another single. Fuck. Back-to-back singles from Soderstrom and Rooker. Holy fuck. And now we got Seth Brown coming in for Schumann. Come on now. All right, Seth Brown up next for Schumann. Come on, Mariners. Don't give this game away. We fought like hell to come back. First pitch, takes a strike looking, right down the pipe, 0-1 count. Come on, Vargas. Here we go. End play. There we go. Seth Brown lined out to right, and that is it, baby. What a fucking comeback by the Seattle Mariners. And again, there's not very many teams that when they get down a run or two and they go into the ninth inning where they actually can pull out the win. Both teams don't go with their main, closer. And obviously it ended up burning the Athletics. If they would have went with Mason Miller, they probably end up winning this game. Final score, Seattle Mariners 5, the Athletics 3. And if we win tomorrow with Brian Wu, that'll be our 9th consecutive series win. And I know we can do it tomorrow, baby. You know I'm going to be live. Let's go, baby. Huge win. Springboard win. Huge. Colin Snyder gets the win, not Emerson Hancock, even though he deserves it. Vargas with the save. And when the Mariners win, what do we do? Mariners win! Mariners win! Mariners win! We fucking dance. Nice job. Hell yeah. Definitely a game that we're going to remember, just like that game that we played with the Astros. That was definitely more groundbreaking because we were down 5-0 in the 8th and we came back and won. But still, to be down 3-2 when the game was 2-2 and giving up that late lead, that fucking stung, but we found a way to win anyways. Nice job, Mariners. 6 starts, 4-1 record, 2.58 ERA, 38 Ks to 7 walks. I like our chances tomorrow with Brian Wu. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Can't wait for tomorrow, baby. Let's go. Great win. Anything that you want to be able to see photo-wise, Louise or Reflect? I appreciate you, or Captain. I appreciate that. We've been gaining a lot of subs, lately. We got like 10 to 13 just in yesterday's stream. So obviously when the games get close, we get a little boost of viewership and whatnot. But again, I am the guy, that covers the Seattle Mariners through and through, and you're not going to see anybody else grind out pretty much every game throughout the year for the Seattle Mariners. And again, I've been following this team for about 40 years. And again, it's nice that we actually have a team as good as the team that we had in 2001. Still early in the season. We're not going to get to 116 wins. But if we keep playing like this, we might get a chance to get to 100. And if we don't hit that, I don't think anyone would be that disappointed if we hit 88 to 90 and we win the division. But there is a reality where we could get to 90 to 100 this year, and that would be huge. We got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow, and I like our chances. Let's go. Any photos for Reflect, Captain, or for Louise with his dono? Captain with a 10er, started us off. Reflect with a 3-er, Reflect with a 3-er, and Louise with a 20. I appreciate you very, very much. Yeah, Big Dumper to the rescue. We'll do some Cal Raleigh photos for the time being. Then I got to go take my pup on a long walk and eat some dinner. And it'll be a victory walk tonight, baby. And then again, we'll be live tomorrow at 12:30 Pacific. And maybe we'll get a home run by Cal tomorrow. got a little shaky there after he gave up a couple hits back to back, but found a way to get out of it. Now, Vargas doesn't have a whole lot of photos just yet because he doesn't have a whole lot of action. So really, there's only two main ones. Obviously, this one that we use. But thank God that he stepped up and, did the opposite of what the Athletics did. And then we got that photo and then this one, and that's it. And this second one is a little not to my standard. The resolution is not, is to my standard, but still, those are the only two that we have for Vargas at the moment until we get some more photographers to do more photos of him. So. This is who we got on the bump tomorrow. And if we have confidence in anybody this year, it's this guy. And again, when Logan Gilbert comes back, we're going to have confidence in him. Hopefully George Kirby is nice as well. But again, we just have to try to do our best with all the injuries that we have. But Brian Wu, initially being the 5-spot, pitcher in the rotation, and now working his way up as being our best with injuries to Gilbert and Kirby. It's nice to be able to see his development. And if you really think about it, towards the end of the year, he was the best pitcher on the staff. He just didn't have as many starts as everyone else. But again, we love Brian Wu. Can't trade a player like this. And, so far so good with what we got going on here with the Seattle Mariners. And hopefully this will be the emotion that every Mariner has after we win tomorrow with Brian Wu on the bump. Let's go. We're winning tomorrow. Especially with, that victory today, Especially if you drop the first two, there's going to be desperation to not get swept. But to come back late in the matchup, again, not everyone stepped up to the standard that we typically need. But remember, Cal didn't play today. We didn't really see Leo Rivas, besides, pinch run, but he ended up giving that extra run to give us that insurance that we needed. And can't wait to be able to see what we got tomorrow. I even made the thumb already. Your boy's already ready. Woo! On the thumb, baby. And he's going to be on the thumb every time that he pitches. Lawrence Butler there, matched up against him. And we'll be live tomorrow at 12:30 Pacific. No, Brash did terrible. Just like Gabe Spire, pretty much almost lost the game for us. So, but luckily we were able to get out of that, and they ended up taking the lead 3-2. But we ended up having a nice rally there late to be able to win. So, not often that the Mariners get 3 runs in the 9th after being down a run, but that's exactly what we did. So. But it's nice for Julio to play well, and then we actually won because, in years past, when Julio had the great game and was like, kind of the leader that set the tone, for whatever reason, other players don't play well when he plays well. But we got enough done in this 2025 Seattle Mariner team. Snyder got the win, even though it would have been nice for Hancock to get it. But Hancock pitched great. With all things considered, some of the bats came alive. Obviously, some of the others were a little cold tonight. But at the end of the day, a win is a win, especially when you give up a 3-2 lead, in the 8th and you go into the 9th. That's a lot of pressure. And most teams would have folded, but not the 2025 Seattle Mariners. Let's go. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to all the people that liked, subbed, donated, commented, and shared, especially Captain Reflect and Luis Fernando, my boy. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do on your way out. And shout out to all the new subs that we've been acquiring lately. And again, I will be live tomorrow for Brian Wu on the bump at 12:30 Pacific. And I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Mariners final 5-3 over the Athletics. Tridents up, and I'm out. Gang, go Mariners.